Let me take you on a signature class journey with Air Canada, the flag carrier of, well, Canada, from Amsterdam to the remote islands of Haida Gwaii, a true heaven for nature lovers. The day starts at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. With my business class ticket, I was granted access to the recently refurbished Aspire Lounge. A major drawback is that it gets really busy until about 2 p.m. When I entered the lounge at 11 a.m., they only took people with business class tickets and turned away any priority pass members. By the way, Aspire is spelled with an A, not an E as suggested by the check-in agent. Speaking about the check-in experience, it was not great. The unfriendly and clueless supervisor insisted that our bags had to go all the way to the final destination, although our itinerary included an overnight layover in Montreal. It eventually turned out that he couldn't be more wrong, as all bags had to be retrieved in Montreal. What a fool. But there she is, a beautiful Zorro-masked Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner getting ready for the 7-hour flight over to Montreal. There are 20 signature class seats that come in a reverse herringbone configuration. And soon the welcome drink was served before being dumped into a plastic cup for departure. Let's enjoy taxiing around Schiphol Airport and get on our way to Montreal.
So Air Canada gives out an amenity kit. It has the usual stuff inside, a dental kit, socks, which I'm actually wearing.
This is actually a nice idea, a cleaning cloth for your eyeglasses. About 40 minutes into the flight, the service started with some appetizers including a green salad and some lovely seafood. For the main course, I went for the classic beef fillet with potato bake and green beans. Of course, I couldn't skip the dessert, which was as good as the rest of the meal. The service, though, was a little reserved and lacking a personal touch. I'm not into loo reviews too much, but this Air Canada maple leaf wall design is a signature move and well worth noting. The afternoon snack service is okay, but nothing to really talk about.
So what can I tell you about this flight on Air Canada from Amsterdam to Montreal? Schiphol Airport is hustling and bustling as ever, and this flight on the Air Canada Dreamliner 787-8 was good, very decent, but really nothing to write home about. The crew is friendly, but not very friendly. The food was good, I would say decent, but not superb. The seat is good. I enjoy sitting here for 7 hours. Not a big deal. So yeah, that's all I can say. A good flight, but nothing really special.
Anyway, a good experience is all we can ask for. A memorable experience is always a bonus. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel and enjoy the approach into Montreal. Welcome to the Air Canada Maple Leaf Domestic Lounge in Montreal. The Airbus A330-300 wearing the Starlines livery is going to take us over to Vancouver later this morning. Although Air Canada's domestic lounges have everything you would expect from a domestic lounge, including a decent selection of food and drinks, they are definitely not up to date anymore. They just look tired and are in desperate need for a remodeling. I believe that Air Canada is planning to do that with no visible results as for now. On the pro side, this lounge offers good views across the apron and it generally has a calm and relaxing atmosphere. Of course, that might feel very different when the lounge is really busy. So let's find our gate and board the A330-300, taking us all across Canada to Vancouver in British Columbia. The The cabin features 32 Signature Class seats in the same configuration as we have seen on the previous flight. In comparison to yesterday's flight, I immediately noticed the cabin crew being in a good mood, enjoying what they do and willing to go the extra mile to make this a memorable flight. The menu shows free breakfast options and the usual extensive list of drinks. Let's have a further look at the seat features before we taxi out to the runway for an on-time departure.
Si votre siège est équipé d'une courroie d'épaule, attachez-la en tirant dessus et en la...
It's time to get comfortable for the 5-hour ride and enjoy a massage.
Orange juice
Coffee.
and black coffee.
With some milk.
Soon after departure, the very friendly breakfast service started. From my experience, breakfast services are usually disappointing compared to a lunch or dinner service. But this is an exception. Everything, including this chia seed pudding, is well presented and very tasty.
Okay, so my omelette has turned up. It looks pretty amazing. Let's see what it tastes like. That's definitely one of the best omelettes I've ever had on a plane. Right, a little bit of turbulence here, so I have to wear a seatbelt. So we also have a little sausage here. That's also one of the best sausages I've ever had on a plane. Usually sausages are really nasty. Alright, very impressive breakfast service on this domestic Air Canada flight from Montreal to Vancouver. I think it was one of the best breakfast services I've ever had on an airplane. And the crew very professional and service orientated. So I really enjoyed this breakfast service on a 5-hour domestic flight in Canada.
The rest of the flight was rather uneventful, but nothing beats the views when you fly over the Rocky Mountains and the weather is beautiful like it is today. I could watch the scenery fly by forever, but too soon we started our descent into YVR for an on-time arrival. The key takeaway of this flight, it's the cabin crew that makes the difference.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
You have a layover here?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't go back today.
24 hour.
24 hours. Enjoy it.
Bonne journée. Bonjour, merci. Au revoir, merci.
Merci.
Bonne journée.
Welcome to Vancouver International Airport, often referred to as YVR. As we're connecting between two domestic flights, there's no security screening and you can leisurely walk up to your gate or lounge at one of the nicest airports in North America.
Oh.
The domestic Maple Leaf Lounge has the same dated look and needs a refurbishment. But like the one in Montreal, it has everything you need, including great apron views. Although the lounge is very busy around midday, it doesn't feel uncomfortably packed. Of course, I chose a seat with a view. So let me show you around. The best thing about this lounge is definitely the view. The windows are facing a section that sees a lot of heavies come and go. So a long layover will not bother any aviation enthusiast. Here we have another A330-300 in Starline's livery. On the way to the gate, they even have a collection of model airplanes on display.
You're one of the nicest. I got interrupted. Sometimes it happens.
But now, the Signature Class experience comes to an end, as the next aircraft has only economy seats. Time to board the little Dash 8 for our flight to Sandspit. The Dash 8-400 is used on routes to smaller airports and has 78 fairly comfortable seats in a 2-2 configuration. I just love to have the variety and fly on little turboprop planes from time to time. Enjoy the takeoff roll from YVR. There is a complimentary snack service with sweet and savory snacks and a free drink. You can choose from soft drinks, water, coffee, and even beer or wine is available. A nice touch that has become uncommon in the airline industry. Before you leave, please enjoy the approach into Sandspit and some impressions of the Haida Gwaii Islands. And please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and check out some of my other videos. Bye for now.